population and human resource development. Population is the topic which we can discuss in two angles: economic development, population, how it is influencing economic development, and what are the social development of we can observe in two angles. Here population, first we will discuss about the population details, demographic features in India. Population and demographic features of India. Before going to the India's particulars, first we will discuss about the world population. Today we are having all in all more than 6 billion, around 7 billion world population has reached to almost 7 billion. The first billion of world population during 1830. During 1830, world has been entered into first billion. The world population is 1 billion. 1 billion. And the world population 1 billion to increase to 2 billion, it takes 100 years. 1930, second billion of population from, and to increase one more billion, now 1960, for 30 years it has been first billion to increase 1 billion 100 years, and to increase another 1 billion only 30 years. 1960 3 billions, and 1975 4th billion, and 1987 it is 5th billion. World population has become 5 billion at the time of 1987, and July 11th 1987, when 5th billionth baby has taken birth. On that occasion, we are following this day as World Population Day. World Population Day. World Population Day. In Yugoslavia, that baby has taken birth on July 11th, 1987. The 6th billion during 1999, the world population has become 6 billion. On October 12th, 1999, this day has been declared 6th billionth day. The October 12th has been declared as 6th billionth day. Okay. These are some particulars how the population has increased in the world. We can observe with the help of this. And for first billion, it taken 100 years. For next billion, 30 years. Next billion, 15 years. And again it is reduced to 12 years. Like that, now it is also 12 years. This is the way of population increasing in the world. Now we will coming to the point of view of India, Indian population. Demographic features of India. Before going to the details of demographic features in India, we must discuss about the theory of demographic transition. Demographic transition theory. During the economic progress of one country should pass through the 3 stages: before developing, and in the process of developing, after developing. Like that, there will be 3 stages in this. According to the demographic transition theory, every country must cross these 3 stages during the process of economic progress. In first stage, high birth rates followed by high death rates. In first stage, according to the demographic transition theory, in first stage, high birth rates will be there and high death rates will be there. In economic progress, first the country has started economic development initially from underdevelopedness to developing. During that process, in that country, lack of facilities and some lack of health hospitals and environmental problems. During this phase, in that country we observe high death rates. Because of the high death rates, people used to have high birth rates. So both similarly, more or less both are same. High birth rates, for example, high birth rates approximately we can observe in India 49 is the high birth rate during the early period, and death rates also almost equal to the birth rates, that is also 48 to 49. Then in this first stage there will not be any increase of population. Okay. Next, second stage. In this stage, high birth rates followed by low death rates. According to the demographic transition theory, second stage is high birth rates and low death rates. Reason for the low death rates is during the process of economic progress, first stage has been crossed, that country is crossed the first stage and it is in the process of developingness. In the process of developingness, they provided some facilities, they controlled epidemics and they provided the health facilities to the people. So the death rate has been declined considerably. It is declined considerably. But whereas high birth rates are not declined as low death rates are declined. So in this second stage, we observe population explosion. Population explosion means high birth rates are there and because of the facilities provided by the government or in the process of development of country, due to that facilities the death rates are declined considerably, the population increase rapidly. Rapid growth of population will be occurred in the second stage. That situation is called population explosion. Reason for the population explosion is high birth rates followed by low death rates. According to the demographic transition theory, the third stage, in this stage we observe low birth rates and followed by low death rates. Low birth rates followed by low death rates. One country has started underdevelopedness to developing process. The first stage we observed in underdeveloped situation. In second stage we observed during the process of developing country. And this stage we can observe in the developed state, developed countries. In developed countries, every facilities was given to the people. Because of that, death rate has been completely declined, considerably it is declined at a low level. And at the same time, to provide good education, to provide good standard of life for their children, the people has awareness. To that purpose they control the birth rate also. They are having in the type of countries, developed countries, there is no infant mortality rate, and almost it is least level infant mortality rate will be observed in that country, and because of that the people in developed country used to have low birth rates, and population increase in almost it is a low level increase will be observed in developed countries. In developing countries, rapid growth of population will be observed. In developed countries, slow rate of growth of population can be observed. Okay, this situation. The first stage also slow rate of growth of population observed, and in the third stage also slow rate of growth of population can be observed. During second stage only population explosion will be occurred. We have to check this theory during the phases of in our Indian economic progress. We have to compare that stages. Now we are in the second stage, and the symptoms are indicating that we are going to enter into the third stage. Okay, we can observe the India's population details now clearly year by year. During the process, our first time Indian census was conducted in 1872. First census conducted in 1872. First time in India population have been census have been collected in 1872. Then regular every 10 years we are collecting the census from 1881 onwards. 1881 onwards regular census was conducted. So far we conducted the last census conducted in 2011. During this period 1881 onwards, what the changes have been occurred in Indian population, we are going to check the details now. Demographic features of India. We observe that the trends of population, how the population has been increased since 100 years of time. We first time conducted census in 1872. Regularly every 10 years we started from 1881 onwards, and as the last census was conducted in 2011, and that during this period has been classified into 4 phases. We observe that during these 4 phases how the population has increased. First phase, that is 1891 to 1921. During this 30 years of period, Indian population has been increased from 23.6 crores to 25.1 crores. 23.6 crores to 25.2.5 crores of population has been increased during this 30 years of period. If we observe the birth rates and death rates during that period, more or less they are same. Death rates are 49 and birth rates also 49. This thing we observed in demographic transition theory in first stage. High birth rates and high death rates. That thing we observed. Due to this reason, the population has been increased very slowly, negligibly. We can't even count 30 years, only 2 crores population has increased during the 30 years. That was the phase which we observed in our India. The economic progress is very slow at the time, the early period of this 20th century, and during that period our Indian economy is underdeveloped and started its development slowly. We can observe that phase in that and coming into the second phase, if we observe the period of again 30 years, that is 1921 to 1951, our Indian population has increased from 25.1 crores to 36.1 crore. 36.1 crore. For this 30 years, almost 11 crores of population has been increased. And observe the rates, birth rates and death rates. Birth rate, reason for the increase of 10 crores during this 30 years of period, here we can observe the death rates and birth rates. Birth rates are declined, but it is declined from 49 to 40. That means 9 considerable points have been decreased in the case of birth rates. And whereas coming to the case of death rates, it is declined from 49 to 27. Considerable number declined in death rate, but it is negligible, only 9 declined in birth rate. Due to that reason, population has increased very rapidly. Started increasing, population increasing started in India from 1921 onwards. And during this period we can observe compound annual growth rate of population is 1.22, and slowly population has increasing started in India from 1921 onwards. If we observe in third phase, 1951 to 1981, during this 30 years of period, our population almost doubled. Not doubled, but 36.1 crores to it is increased 68.3 crores. Speed of increasing of the population has increased. Compound annual growth rate of population 2.14. This is the situation. Population explosion has started in India. Reason for that, the birth rates are decreased only 3, whereas death rates are increased from 27 to it is 15. Again, considerable number of death rates are declined, and negligible number declined in the case of birth rates. This is due to economic progress. The government has provided, government has taken necessary step to provide the health facilities to the people, completely eradicated the malaria, not completely eradicated, but smallpox like that completely eradicated, and minimized the problem of malaria and other some diseases, contaminated diseases also controlled, and provided medicine for diseases. And due to that reason, death rates are declined. And during the process, still we are observing poverty in India. People used to have more number of children. The more number of people can earn more number of much of income. Like that, they are having more number of birth rates. Population is increasing in that phase. We can observe slowly started increasing in second phase, but it is exploded in third phase. During 51 to 81, population has been exploded. And if we observe fourth phase, 1981 to 2011, our Indian population has increased from 68.3 crores to 121 crores. Now 1.21 billion of population is in our India only, the second largest country in the world in the point of view of population. If we observe the birth rates are declined from 37 to 22, and death rates are declined from 15 to 7. Considerable, we are reaching, this is the symptom of low death rates we observe in developed countries. But at the same time, birth rate should be declined that much. If we observe the compound annual growth rate, it is 1.84. If we compare the compound annual growth rates of 4 stages, in first stage, it is a negligible increase in the population. And in second stage, little bit slowly but increasing is started. In the third stage, if we observe the compound annual growth rate of population, it is the rapid growth of population we observed. India entered into the second phase of demographic transition during 21 to 81, and 81 to 2011, if we observe the compound annual growth rate, it is shown declining. Compound annual growth rate is declining. That means increasing rate is decreased. Population increasing rate is decreased, slowly declined. If we observe in the world, the population increasing in the world at 1.4%. World population growth rate increasing at 1.4. Compound annual growth rate is 1.4. Whereas in China, it is increasing only at 1%. In China, it is increasing at only 1%. But in India, it is increasing at 1.84%. That's why the analysts express that by the end of 2050, we may cross the China's population and becoming a world largest populated country. This is the situation regarding population details. In our total world population, we are having 17.5% of the people are India. And geographical area wise, if we discuss about the geographical area, in total world geographical area, we are having only 2.4% of the geographical area. To feed the 17.5%, we are having only 2.4% of the geographical area. This is the statistical details about the world and India's population details. Indian demographic population or demographic features. We are observing the trends in population increase, and some important details about the IMR. IMR means infant mortality rate. Infant mortality rate means the number of deaths of children among the every 1,000 newborn child. Every 1,000 newborn child. Ratio of the number of deaths of children among the every 1,000 newborn children. Okay, that indicates the level of medical facilities, availability of medical facilities. During 1921, if we observe the infant mortality rate, it is very high during that period, 218. For every 1,000 newborn child, 218 children are dying before attaining first birthday. Before attaining first birthday. 218. Our Indian government has taken necessary step during the period of this from 1921 to 2011, that IMR is decreased to 47 due to the facilities provided by the government, supplied nutritious food for them, and improve the immunization capacity, and providing the medical facilities, and all this caused for the declining in infant mortality rate. Okay, next point, it is MMR, maternal mortality rate. Maternal mortality rate is the indicator. It is the ratio of number of deaths at the time of delivery among the every lakh pregnant women. This is the ratio between deaths of during the delivery among the every 1 lakh. We calculate this MMR for 1 lakh, except this indicator is calculating only 1 lakh, and except this every indicator IMR, death rates, birth rates, all have been calculated for every 1,000. Remaining of except MMR, IMR, death rate, birth rates, all have been calculated for 1,000. The ratio between number of children death of among every 1,000 newborn children, it is called IMR, Death rates is the ratio of number of deaths for every 1,000 population in country, and birth rates is the newly born among the 1,000, every 1,000 population, that is the ratio between the population of every 1,000, among the 1,000 how many of newborn, that is the birth rate. Like this every indicator calculated for 1,000, but except MMR. MMR is calculated for 1 lakh. If we observe the MMR, maternal mortality rate, it is the 210. At present it is 210. And next come to the point of sex ratio. If we observe the sex ratio during the period of 1901 to 2011, we can assess that during the period of 1901, sex ratio is 972. It is declined for after 50 years. In 1951, it is 946. It is declined. Sex ratio declined means every 1,000 male, how many females are there in a country, that is the sex ratio. And in 1901 it is 972, and in 1951, if we observe the 1951, it is declined to 946, and again it is declined to 1991, it is declined to 927, and if we observe slowly it is started increasing, 933 in 2001 and 943 in 2011. First this ratio has declined up to 1991, and 2000 onwards it slowly started increasing the male female ratio. It is indicating the development of gender inequality, we can say that. And initially they didn't give a proper priority for the girl child. Now again they started giving equal priority for both, we can say. Initially first sex ratio is high, it is declined so up to 1991, and 2000 onwards it is started increasing. We should reach almost equal, that is the good sign for the country. If we observe that in Kerala, sex ratio is highest. Every 1,000 male there were 1,084 women. The least is Haryana. Punjab and Haryana both are least. Last place Haryana state is there. It is only 877. That is the situation regarding sex ratio in India. Age composition. Age composition means total population has classified into 3 categories: 0 to 14 years, that is children, and 15 to 60 years, that is the work participation group, working age group or productive age group age, and 61 and above, senior citizens, that is old age people. This is the age composition. 3 categories, we are having 3 categories. According to the latest census, 2011 census, this in India children's percentage is 35.6%, and working age group percentage is 58.2. This is a good sign, and again children, they may become every year they may become a working age group, and here dependency group, that is old age, old age group is only 6.3%. This is the age composition in India. During the period we observe population dividend is very high in India. Population dividend means population, those who are working population increasing year by year, it is increasing the national income. Work participation increasing, due to work participation increasing, every year national income is increasing, that is the demographic dividend. So far we discussed about the population details in India, demographic features of India during the 100 years of period, how the population has been increased. First 3 decades slowly population increased, negligible. Even in one decade, that is 1911 to 1921, in that particular decade the population has declined, decreased. Instead of increasing, it is declined. 25.2 crores in 1911, it is declined to 1921, 2 lakhs people declined. That means the first time we observed in the decade, the population is decreased in India. In total Indian history, the first time we observed that population is decreased. In 1921, the population is 25 crores.1 lakh. That is the situation, and slowly started the increasing population from 1921 onwards. That's why 1921 year is treated as Great Dividing Year. 1921 year is called Great Dividing Year. The year 1921 in Indian population history, 1921 year is called Great Dividing Year. It is 1921 stood between, one is decreasing the population, another one is increasing the population, in between 1921. So it is called Great Dividing Year of population. 1921, and population explosion we observed since 1951. Rapid growth of population in India taken place since 1951 onwards. Again 1991 to 2011, if we observe these 2 decades, the slowly increasing rate is declined. We are observing that the population is not that much rapidly increasing, slowly increasing. That we can observe during the demographic features. Now we are going to discuss about the causes for rapid growth of population in India. Now we are going to discuss about that point. The main reason for the increasing in the population, high birth rates followed by low death rates and immigration. These are the 3 main reasons to increase one country's population. In India also we observe that high birth rates followed by low death rates and immigration. These 3 are the main causes for the rapid growth of population. In Indian point of view, immigration is not the problem for increasing the population in India. We need not concentrate on that immigration in the reasons of population increase, in particular Indian case. The main reasons for the rapid growth of population in India is only high birth rates and low death rates. First we will discuss about the causes behind the high birth rates. What are the main causes for high birth rates? First we will discuss that points one by one. Here high birth rates, again reasons for the high birth rates are classified into economic factors and social factors. Economic factors and social factors. Economic factors which are influenced the increasing the population in India is, one is predominance of agriculture, and second one is urbanization, third one is poverty. Here we can say slow urbanization and poverty. These 3 are considered as economic factors. Social factors, first one is universality of marriage, and second one is lower age at the time of marriage, and third one is religious and social superstitions. Fourth one is joint family system. Fifth one is lack of education. Sixth one is use of contraceptives. First we will discuss one by one. First one, economic factors. Under the economic factors, predominance of agriculture. Predominance of agriculture means Indian economic context, in the point of view of Indian economy, we depended on the agriculture. Most of the people, they engaged in agriculture sector, and we are the naturally agrarian society, population depending on the agriculture. Agriculture required more number of people to work, and whoever of the population, they can easily engaged by the agriculture, need not any qualification, need not any training, and everybody can do the agriculture, so that the population has depended on that. The agrarian society, in agrarian society, family used to have more number of children to undertake the agriculture program, and for that purpose, predominance of agriculture, most of the people depending on the agriculture, more or less 70% of the, during 1950, if we observe, nearly 70% of the people engaged in agriculture sector. That's why the people used to have more number of children. In peak time of agriculture, required more number of persons to work in that. If a family having large number of family members, then they can easily run their agriculture works. In that context, that families are having more number of children. That's why one of the reason is that in rapid growth of population is for that rapid growth of population, one of the reason is predominance of agriculture, and slow urbanization. In Indian economy, urbanization is not taking place. Slowly it is increasing. Urbanization is taking place, but it is slowly increasing. When the people migrate from rural to urban, if the urbanization is increasing rapidly, people used to migrate from rural to urban. After moving to the urban, working in the industrial sector, the people can understand the problem of raising children, and at the same time providing amenities to the children. Then automatically birth rate will be controlled. If the urbanization increasing in rapidly, automatically birth rate will be controlled. But in the case of Indian economy, the most of the people belongs to agriculture and rural people, so that people used to have more number of children. Slow urbanization is also one of the reason behind the population growth, rapid population growth. And the third one, it is poverty. In India, during the 1950, almost 50%, more than 50% of the people are below poverty line. Almost all the people, rural people, they are in below poverty line, and that poor families, the poor people families, they think that more number of people in the house, they will earn more number of income, more income can be earned by more number of people. So in the poor families, the people used to have more number of children. Reason behind this, number of hands, earning hands will be increased if the number of family members increased. In that context, people used to have more number of children. They are not feeling any burden to raise the children, and cost of raising children is very less in poor family comparatively earning by that children. So poverty is also one of the main reason behind the population growth rate, rapid growth of population. These three considered as economic factors. And coming into the case of social factors. Social factors in India, universality of the marriage, compulsory marriage, and it is the general thing in India, no people left without marriage, and that is the situation, one of the cause, social cause. It is giving a chance to having number of children. and lower age at the time of marriage, lower age at the time of marriage. This is also one of the reason. Reproductive age group of the women is very high in India compared with the developed economy. Developed countries, people they used to have at the marry at the age of 25 or even 30, and in developing countries like India, the mean average year is less than 18 in olden days comparatively with developed economy. That women who are reproductive age group women, they are having more number of years of reproduction, and then they can have number of children, the chance of having number of children in these two are social factors. And the third one, religious and social superstitions. In some religious they believe that they don't stop the giving birth to the children, and social superstitions, God is giving, we have to receive it, that's all, like that some social superstitions, and controlling artificially is not good according to the gods, like that this type of superstitions prevailing in the rural poor agrarian society. That's why they used to have more number of children. And joint family system, another one social factor is joint family system. Again in Indian economy, our system is joint family system, but this system has been changing. Nowadays we can observe some nucleus families also, but during the period of 1950 we are having this joint family system. Raising children is not a burden in joint family system. The young people, those who married, they can have number of children, that raising children is not problem for them. Then in joint family system, the older people, they can take care of the children, even the young people, they can participate in the economic activities. The raising children is not problem for them in joint family system. If the nucleus family is there, only parents, if they are going to the economic activities, the raising children in that nucleus family is very tough. So automatically if there is a nucleus system, the population will be controlled. Otherwise in joint family system, the people used to have more number of children. That's why population is increasing. And lack of education. Lack of education, if we observe during the period of 1950, our literacy is only 18%. Male literacy on an average, even female literacy is not even crossed to double digit. That is the situation prevailing during the period of 1950. Because of lack of this education facilities and literacy, the people, they won't think that they don't even change their lifestyle. They involved in the agriculture works only. So that is the reason that the type of families, they used to have more number of children. And the use of contraceptives, lack of education and how to use the contraceptives, and how to lack of medical facilities and awareness to the people. These are all the reasons behind the high population growth rate, high birth rate. These are all the factors which we discussed now, reason for the high birth rate. High birth rate is the reason for the rapid growth of population in India, one of the reason. And second cause that is leads to the rapid growth of population in India is low death rates. We will discuss in 3 points, that is elimination of famines and control of epidemics. Other factors under the heading of these 3, we will discuss this. These 3 are causes for the low death rates. Elimination of famines. Recurrence of famines is natural phenomena during the British period. Because of famines, the people, number of people, the high mortality rate we observed during that period. After getting independence, government has taken necessary step to control the epidemics, famines. By eradicating by providing some facilities to eradicate that famines, we controlled that mortality rate. That is one of the reason to low death rates. And control of epidemics. Epidemics like smallpox, malaria, cholera, all this type of epidemics appearance we observed in the olden days, that during period of Britishers. After independence, we started our government has taken necessary steps and provided the medical facilities and completely eradicated, smallpox is completely eradicated, and malaria, cholera minimized, and its effect is not there, it is minimized that, and some medication and improved immunization. Because of that facilities provided by the government, the death rates have been controlled. Other factors, providing safe drinking water, sanitation, and giving immunization powers to them. Like that, in the other factors we will discuss that providing safe drinking water, sanitation, and giving some medication to them. With the help of these three factors, we observe that low death rates have been observed in India. This is the cause for the low death rate. And third factor, that is immigration. Immigration means the group of people, they migrated from one country to another country for the purpose of doing job. But this we will not observe in India, and this is not a cause for the rapid growth of India, rapid growth of population in India. This is the causes we discussed, and now we are going to discuss about the remedial measures. Remedies for the population explosion. So far we have seen the causes for the rapid growth of population and how to control the population. What are the steps taken by the government? We will discuss in this matter. These are the remedies for population explosion. The first one is economic measures. Under economic measures, expansion of industrial sector. Expansion of industrial sector leads to urbanization. Urbanization influences the people to migrate from rural to urban. So automatically raising children will be problem, and they may have to provide good education and all amenities. The people used to have control their birth rate. Automatically population can be controlled. And creation of employment. Creation of employment is also another remedy. If you increase the employment opportunities, the people used to engage it by the work, and they won't concentrate, they won't get that much opportunity to them, and that is also one of the cause to control the population. And equitable distribution of income and removal of poverty. Government has taken necessary step to remove the poverty. So many programs have been implemented to remove the poverty, and equitable distribution of income also. Land reforms, in the name of land reforms, so many programs have been given to redistribute the income among the people equitably. And another one measure, that is social measure. Social measure is providing education facilities to the people, increasing the literacy rate, bringing the awareness among the people, and status of women. Status of women should be increased in the society by giving education and giving opportunity to participate in the work. And then earlier period we observed that status of women is very poor in our Indian olden days, but it is improving year by year. We can observe that equal status has been given to them, and with that they may have their word in the having children. Then third one, that is age of marriage. The government has taken enacted some acts to increase the time of age of marriage and minimum age for the and to control the child marriages. The government has taken the limited age, it is given limited age, and 18 years, now 21 years is the minimum age for the girl child, and 25 is the minimum age for the boy. That is one of the remedial measures. And another one is family planning program. Family planning program to encourage by giving some programs and bringing awareness in that programs, and providing literature on that, giving some audio visual and video visual, by encouraging to participate in this family planning program. In this way also population is controlled. These are the remedial measures taken by the government to control the population explosion. In this topic, questions may be asked different type, concept based. In which stage Indian economy, India is entered into the second phase. Population explosion means, and great dividing year. What is the great dividing year? What is the demographic dividend? These are the concept based questions they may ask. And what is the infant mortality rate? What is the death rates and birth rates? All these questions may be asked in multiple. They are giving some options, how much we reduced from 1921 to 2011, and if you observe the 50 years, which during 30 years increased more. Like that they may ask different types of question on population. How to control the population, what are the steps taken by the government. Directly they won't ask like this, but they have given multiple type questions. We have to make some examples on that. Population explosion. What is the meaning of population explosion? High birth rates and followed by low death rate causes for the population explosion. This situation is we observed in second stage of demographic transition theory. This is the theory which we this is the population explosion situation we observed in second stage of demographic transition theory. India entered into the demographic transition theory and showing some signs to enter into the third stage in the way of declining compound annual growth rate of Indian population. On the topic of population or demographic features in India, questions were, we are expecting at least one question, and it is having a scope of two questions like that. The important problem that India is facing regarding population increase in only. So, what is the compound annual growth rate during these 4 phases? Question may be asked on that. Population increasing rapidly, population increasing but not rapidly, population decreasing rapidly, like that questions may be framed. But in Indian population, it is increasing but showing declining rate. When we compare that compound annual growth rate, we can observe that. First 0.19, next 1.22, next 2.14, next 1.84. Like that, if you observe, the question may be asked on compound annual growth rate. Indian compound annual growth rate is decreasing. Whether it is decreasing or not, we have to decide based on the concept. It is declining in the year from the decade of 2001 to 2011, 1991 to 2001, 2001 to 2011. If we observe, it is declined. Declining trend has been shown. Like that, on the topic, questions may be asked like this. When we entered into the second stage of demographic transition, what is the reason? Population explosion, reason for the population explosion. Great dividing year, we have to concentrate 1921, and World Population Day, we have to concentrate on July 11th, 1987, it is World Population Day, and 6th billionth day, October 12th is observed as a 6th billionth day, world population 6th billionth day. Questions may be asked like that, and they may frame. We have to keep this concept in our mind. With the help of this concept, we should decide the bit.